Simon Sinek is literally so cool. You might know Simon Sinek from Start With Why, Leaders Eat Last, and videos where his viral videos would be the one where he says, all you need is 8 minutes with a friend. He has a podcast called A Bit of Optimism. During quarantine, when everything was freaky and everyone was scared to shit, he created this podcast called A Bit of Optimism, where he talks with his friends about love and the power of friendship and helping each other out in times of need. His friends just happen to be really awesome, super successful, incredibly cool people. Tech giants, leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs, just very impactful people, military people, artists, and they navigate the intricate art of being human in these conversations. Now, this episode that impacted me deeply was with a gentleman called John Mills, and it is immediately after the Los Angeles fire in January 2025, where everything caught fire, and not a pleasant experience. There was just fire and then people. As far as I understand, there was little harm to people, but a lot of people lost their homes, which is not nice. Anyway, what happens is that Mr. John Mills has created an application called Watch Away? Watch Dogs? Baywatch? I don't know. I was in there and I didn't use it. So I don't know how it works, but my understanding from the conversation is that it's it's basically a place where a lot of people can report what's going on. So what would happen is that if I have a home in LA, I would go on this app and check where the fires are, where the wind is taking the fire, and if my home is the next target and I should do something about that and get out of here immediately or not. And this is a kind of service with a kind of accuracy that people who we would think are responsible for it fall short on providing. So the government is not providing something that matches this quality, and there's just this guy who created this thing, and it's non-profit. And so the main core of the conversation is spite as a great motivator. So what John is saying is that his main motivation for creating this platform is a spite, because he has his own house, his own property, having been in danger of catching fire or having caught fire, and him being just annoyed, kind of, that there is a helicopter passing by and that's how I get to know that there's gonna be a fire. That's not cool. So he creates this platform pretty much out of spite. And something that caught my eye that I think was absolutely beautiful was Simon would ask him, a lot of people complain on Twitter or just cry about it, but you took it upon yourself to do something. And John's response would be, well, that's boring. And that is the coolest thing about this guy that I found. He is awesome. He does have this great tech situation, and he's got his money and he's got his business and he's got his don't need to do anything for like don't need to work a job anymore, and he's just like doing side quests now, and in doing of those side quests he chooses to preferably do things that are good for other people also, and he's super chill about it, and he's like, well, you know, why not? And does things to that entertain him, and then also benefit a more collective scene as well, which is who I want to be when I grow up. I want to have the operational, the knowing of the how to do things, and the also having the core and heart of it in the right place, of why and what for to do those things, and bring the worlds of, I guess you could, I mean, I don't know, a categorization could be like of the mind and of the heart, and then putting them together. So knowing how to do things that are positively impacting everyone, and also like being good at it, and then doing the better thing, and also being good at it, and entertaining yourself, like having fun with it. He was so chill. I loved it. He's so real. He's so chill about it. He's not dramatic about it. While it is an incredibly dramatic topic and we all know it, but there's no reason to add extra drama. We all know that a whole city burning down is a pretty dramatic, very devastating incident. Very unpleasant. But we are having a conversation, and there's no need to add to the drama, which aligns with him about saying about himself, I'm a practical guy and I don't like sitting around. I want to do things. It is a beautiful conversation. They cover so many things, or like they touch up on so many different topics, from a sense of solidarity and unity and togetherness being created through in times of hardship, where people are just incredibly nice to each other when there's a disaster or a war going on. And they talk about this regarding 9/11, how everyone was so sweet to each other, and it made me think of all the times that I have experienced people on the street just being the sweetest, the most random person that maybe you would not look at, or maybe you would go to the other side of the sidewalk if you saw them coming from afar. Now, that person feels like the closest friend, and feels so safe, and you love them so much, and you wish you could hug them. And everyone's so nice to each other. And during Women Life Freedom, there was a time people would just give each other's flowers and little origamis, and you would see another person on the street, and your eyes would meet, and you would look deeply in each other's eyes with hope, or like, we got this, or I got you. Not necessarily in a take them down, but in a like, we were all feeling a lot of things. So on the street, our eyes would meet, and then we would both know that we are going through a lot of things and feeling a lot of things. Everything was so heightened. So during those times, all of the fears that are usually active go away, because there's an actual real threat. And so we shift from being in front of each other to being side by side, which is beautiful. And I wish that it, not only do I wish, but I do think that it is the case that this is going to happen eventually, with progression of human forward. And I like, or the trends have been this way. The trends have been the more and more and more and more reduction of fears and panicking and just like general fear, because there's no fear of tigers, there's no fear of less fear of getting your, like having pirates. You can travel without getting murdered, immediately robbed. We generally know that rape is not an okay thing and are trying to reduce it. So these perils, essentially, or like water doesn't immediately kill you as easily as it used to in a collective large scale snapshot of the human experience so far. It looks good. It's the trends are upward from going to operating in fear and like a sense of there's not enough and I should take yours for me to have enough. Going from that to a place of like actually everything is made up and illusory, so let's maybe chill a little bit more and have some fruit. They talk about that. They talk about how during war technology advances incredibly, and so they learned all these methods of mass production, and during war that was helpful, and then after war the entire propaganda skills, the production and manufacturing skills, all of those were repurposed from war to selling crap to people and draining them and enslaving them in consumerism. They talk about a sense of curiosity, playfulness, and taking action in face of what exactly? In face of a threat or in face of something coming to get you, be it a fire or whatever else. What I felt was very present in the conversation was a sense of momentum and the opposite of idleness, and being active instead of being subject to things happening to you. Getting up and doing things. Now, whatever that thing might be. Yeah? And one of the sweetest moments was Simon asked John, how can we help you? And he responds saying, just, help the firefighters, the groups that are helping people or so. There are so many qualities in that conversation that I think would go a long, long, long way. One person embodying those qualities goes such a long way, yeah, and ends up creating this awesome community, this incredibly helpful, very immediately helping people in face of a life-threatening peril and danger, like coming into your face. That just a little bit of that spread among more people, or more people having a lot of that, of those qualities, of the playfulness, of the practicality, of the going from and complaining to doing something. The not the the lack of infinite greed and wanting more, not being a zombie with with money, uh, and just getting things done, and then just like playing with things. I think something that would go a long way if you teach your kid, or if you like have more people in a space where they get to do things and just tinker with making things, materials, machines, and just like getting to see how a clock works, getting their hands in the game and playing around with something, taking it apart, putting it back together. It just opens up a reality, puts you in a timeline where in which you have an understanding and have a belief that, well, if you do something to it, then it will act in a way that you kind of want, or that you reaching out and doing something to it is going to end up showing you results, or showing you impact, or giving you a response. So it's not like this machine, be it an economic system or the lack of a service that should be there, or a computer, this thing, machine, system, whatever, that is here and is acting in a specific way, and I'm out here being impacted by its behavior, and then I'm like, ugh, I don't like that. Ooh, it's smelly. The click of, well, maybe I can do something about it, and then whoop, it changes its behavior. So maybe if I do a bit more, it changes more behavior. Maybe in the process of doing different things to it, I figure out what to do to it to get the behavior that I want. It was a really cool thing, a really, really cool conversation. So much to learn, so much to get inspired by, and I totally would love and very much hope so that I grow up to be such a person.